Good morning, everybody. I want to talk about pollarding today. So pollarding is when you cut back a tree to a certain size, to a certain space on the tree. And they are done for two different reasons. One reason is when a tree gets too big. Like the London plane trees, they get pollarded because if they don't get pollarded, they won't be able to grow them in London. These are willows. This is the Salix alba brutensis, and they are grown for their beautiful bright red new stems in the winter time. But as the sap starts flowing, it turns green, as you see here. You can start seeing the leaves coming out. And this is the best time of the year. So we're now towards the end of March. And just before the leaves come out, then at least you enjoy the colorful stems for as long as possible. And then you cut them, because it's quite brutal, but it is, this is how it is being done. So I want to show you how we do it. And there is some of these stems that are quite a bit bigger than the other ones. So I'm going to use secateurs on the smaller stems. But if you haven't done it for a while, I think I skipped last year, then you might have some bigger stems that you won't be able to do with the secateurs. So I've got a little saw here that I'm going to use on the bigger stems. Then after that is finished, it will be quite brutal, and you might even think you've killed it. But believe me, it's a willow. There's no ways you're going to kill it. And I always say that then the new fresh growth comes out, and it looks like a 1980s perm for about 3 weeks. And you think, what have I done? And then this happens in one summer. So don't panic when they start growing and they just have that tight little green leaves around them. They will grow into these massive tall stems. It does it every year. The process of pollarding, as you will see, we're going to take it right back to that lump. And I remember the first time I saw a pollarded willow about this height. They look like they're from like a fairyland, because it becomes all gnarly and twisted, and it's really beautiful. So if you can look at it from a different viewpoint, we're going to take all of this off. But over years and years and years, that the older it gets, the more gnarly that becomes, and that's almost a feature in itself. And that is what, and when you see like the big London plane trees in London, you know, where they pollard them, they've got these big knobbly bits, and it's really, I think it's really beautiful how the tree responds to being pruned like this. So I'm going to start by using my little saw that to take the bigger ones that I won't be able to do with the secateurs. So you go right as close as possible to the base here. This one is way too big for my secateurs. So I go right as close as possible to the, there we go. Okay, so this is another one that's too big for my secateurs. So see, I push, and then that last bit, you almost let relax with the saw, otherwise it tears into the bark. So I go as close as I can to the pollard, you know, the pollard stump. Okay, so now I'm moving to the secateurs. Everything here that we can do with secateurs now. So again, you just go as close as possible to the base there. Okay, so this one here, as close as possible there. Just snip, snip, snip. Okay, so now I'm just going to carry on and snip them all off. So it's quite a quick process. There's method to the madness. One left. I'll go this side, get a nice cut. Okay, so now the pollarding's done. You've now got it. This is where this, you know, this sort of pollard will shape over time. This one is fairly young still, and then within a week or two, you're going to start seeing leaves coming out, and that's when and then sort of until about most probably the beginning of May, you're going to have this 1980s perm look, and then whoosh, the whole thing will just go up, and that's when you'll get those beautiful stems. Enjoy.